Europe prepares to respond to Trump's tariffs, calling them a major blow to the global economy. The European Union is preparing countermeasures in response to US President Donald Trump's announcement of a 20% tariff on imports from the EU, which has been described as a major blow to the global economy. The EU is a key trading partner of the United States. Last year, it was the largest single market for US goods exports, surpassing America's neighboring countries, Canada and Mexico, according to US Census Bureau data. On Thursday, European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen stated, "President Trump's announcement of comprehensive tariffs on the entire world, including the EU, represents a harsh blow to the global economy. I deeply regret this decision," adding that the effects of these tariffs will be felt immediately. On Wednesday, Trump launched a historic global trade war, announcing widespread tariffs on dozens of countries, from Nicaragua to Cambodia. These new tariffs add to previously imposed taxes on steel, aluminum, and automobiles. Speaking from Samarkand, Uzbekistan, where she is attending the EU Central Asia Summit, von der Leyen warned, "Let's recognize the severe consequences. The global economy will suffer significantly. Uncertainty will worsen, leading to further protectionism. All businesses, large and small, will face immediate uncertainty, supply chain disruptions, and bureaucratic complications. The cost of doing business with the US will rise substantially," she noted. While the EU prefers to work with the US to reduce trade barriers, von der Leyen emphasized that Europe is ready to respond. "We are already finalizing the first set of countermeasures in response to the steel tariffs, and we are now preparing additional countermeasures to protect our interests and businesses if negotiations fail," she added. Last month, the EU retaliated against Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs by unveiling countermeasures on US exports worth up to €26 billion, $28 billion, including tariffs on boats, bourbon, and motorcycles. Both Europe and the US have significant stakes in the escalating trade dispute. In 2024, the US was the largest buyer of European goods, importing products ranging from pharmaceuticals and automobiles to alcoholic beverages and telecommunications equipment, according to official EU data. Meanwhile, the EU was the largest source of US goods imports last year, according to American figures. On Thursday, von der Leyen stated, "For the past 80 years, trade between the EU and the US has created millions of jobs." She added, "Consumers on both sides of the Atlantic have benefited from lower prices. Businesses have gained immense opportunities, and this has led to unprecedented growth and prosperity." However, she acknowledged that the global trading system has serious flaws. "I agree with President Trump that some countries are unfairly exploiting the current rules, and I am ready to support efforts to adapt the global trade system to the realities of today's economy," von der Leyen said. But resorting to tariffs as a first and last resort will not fix the problem. She stressed that the EU is willing to negotiate with the US, but Europe must also defend itself. "I know many of you feel disappointed by our oldest allies. Yes, we must prepare for the inevitable impact of this situation. But Europe has everything it needs to overcome this challenge. We are in this together. If one of us is challenged, we are all challenged."